Hello, everyone. It's Coach Mo here for your Daily Mo. This week, I'm covering money. I'm covering money so that you can have more of it and you understand some of the hidden secrets to more money. And if you're a follower of my work, if you know who I am, you know that I help women bring their soul to work to help them land their dream job. If you haven't seen my 5 shifts webinar on how to bring your soul to work to land your dream job, I encourage you to go to mofall.com/free training and check out that training. There are 5 shifts that you're going to want to know all about. But today I'm covering something that no one is ever really going to tell you about. No one is even ever going to paint this distinction for you because it sounds so wrong and it is so right. There is hardly anything I will ever share with you that is as right as this. And what I want you to do is, if you're listening to this on my Coach Mo Fall Facebook page, please share this video with your friends and folks you care about, because this is going to be a truth and a lifelong kernel nugget, golden nugget, that everyone you love is going to want to understand. And at first, you are going to misunderstand me. I know, I'm ready for this. You're going to misunderstand me. So please share this video. Please, let's take this viral, because I want to help change the world in a massive, massive way. So much of what we've been taught by religions and well-meaning adults who had their own fears and misunderstandings have pushed us in the wrong direction. And I'm not against religion, but here's the thing. Our Creator, our God, created us to be awesome. And I don't know about you, I was raised Catholic, but a lot of the things that I was taught as a young girl convinced me that I was broken, a sinner, and no good. This is not helpful to a human being to feel that their God is judging them for being hurt, broken, and a sinner. If this offends you, please move on and have a nice life with that. I know that you were born in the likeness and image of God, the Creator. I know that. I see it. I witness it. I experience it. I know that is truth. And I know for a variety of reasons. And if you work with me, you'll learn some of the variety of reasons why I know that that's truth. But I'm going to share with you something that you think is wrong, you think is something that you shouldn't do and believe in. And it is exactly the opposite, because all successful people do this. All successful people do this one thing, and that's how they live their lives. And it is absolutely in alignment with our Creator, with how God made us, with what we're all about as a human being. But when we deny this aspect of our destiny, of our soulful destiny, we will suffer. And if your life has been marked up with suffering and struggling in a way that you just don't understand, I've got news for you, because everything I teach and everything I coach is all about this one golden nugget. And there's a lot of aspects to it, but this one truth is the thing that's going to free you up. But I'm going to tell you this, it is going to conflict with how you were raised. And if you were raised in any type of religion, it is going to conflict with everything you were taught to be a good girl. It is going to fight against your sense of what you're supposed to be like. It's going to fight against your sense of what you were taught. Oh, this is going to get you. But I want you to listen with your heart and your soul. I don't want you to listen with fear, because if you listen with fear to this, you're going to get upset and you're going to shrink. And perhaps you're going to feel bad. And I don't want you to feel bad. I want you to feel good about who you are and what you're here to do on this earth at this time that you were born. I really do. I want you to feel awesome about who you are. But most of us were raised with lies and untruths because we didn't understand. Our parents, adults who raised us, teachers, our friends, boyfriends, girlfriends who influenced us, other people who influenced us in our lives, they taught us things that are really wrong. And it's not their fault either, because how were they to know? We've been evolving as a human species, and now we understand truths better because we have physics on our side. We have MRI machines on our side that we can now see what the brain is actually doing during all sorts of things in life. And over the last 50, 100 years ago, Einstein told us that we live in an energy universe. It is all energy, it is all one, and we are one with it. Not from a religious perspective, from a physics perspective. And Einstein got so excited about how he uncovered the rules of the universe that he felt that he was beginning to understand how God put it together. And he was, and he did. And his biggest aha moment was in 1905. And most of us are still living in opposition of what he told us in 1905. Could you imagine if other parts of your life were still the same as 1905? Let's go down the list, because most people are living in their belief system before 1905. And you might be one of those people that you're living in how the world was understood in 1904. Because in 1905, Einstein told us that the universe is an energetic universe and all things are connected. And he had mathematical formula to figure it out and tell us that. And he won a Nobel Prize for it. And he was accoladed. But you know what? We kept living the same way as we lived in the 1800s. And we still do. So here's the thing. If you were still living in 1904, before we knew that the universe was one unified field, women wouldn't be voting. You wouldn't have a car. You wouldn't have a cell phone, internet, nothing like that. You wouldn't have vaccines for some diseases, whether you like vaccines or not. Things have been cured, like polio and the measles and other things. You wouldn't have penicillin. We wouldn't have hospitals. You know what hospitals used to be? Oh, you wouldn't want to go to one in 1904. We wouldn't have a lot of the scientific and the medical miracles that are keeping people alive with chronic diseases that people used to die of at a very young, early age. I wouldn't be alive because I got breast cancer when I was 47 years old. And women died from breast cancer in 1904. There was no cure. There was nothing you could do. All sorts of cancers kill people immediately. Heart disease kill people immediately. 1904 is really where your belief system is still stuck. But you're living in the 21st century. You're living in the modern day age where we have cars and cell phones. I have an electric car. I don't even need gas. Boom. We didn't need gas in 1904 either, because most people were horse and buggy or bicycle or walking, and they didn't go places. They lived where they lived, and they didn't really leave the places that they lived unless you were really, really wealthy and you got on a cruise ship and you went to Europe and it took you 2 weeks to get there on a boat. Your belief system is probably still there. And I want to help you feel better about yourself and have a more successful life. And this week, as I'm covering money, I can't cover money as money, because money is energy. And if you don't change your energy and your belief systems, you will not have access to more money. I don't care if you go through Dave Ramsey's How to Cut Your Debt course. If you feel bad about yourself, and if you have belief systems that are pushing you down and making you feel bad, if you're living in fear, you will always be in debt. Take that to the bank, Dave Ramsey. Here's the thing. You have to do this one thing. And I know I'm building this up to a big crescendo because it's really freaking big. It's really freaking big. And hello to Kelly K and Dawn. Owen Therese, nice to see you. I don't know if I've seen you before. Natasha, nice to see you. Kathy Lesser, Dawn Hazelwood. We got you covered, girl. Judith Walsh, nice to see you. Ladies, you were taught that everyone else's needs are above yours. Yes or yes? Yes, no. You were taught that the external world is what you have to relate to and react to. And your career and your life, I am certain of this, is based on a series of you having to respond and react to things that happen outside of you. You know what successful people do? They do something different than you. Now, you might have some success. You might feel that you've gotten a certain level in your career or in your earnings that is above maybe what your parents had. Awesome. There's more for you. You may realize that what has happened in your life has been you reacting out of fear. You may realize that what your career has been is opportunities that came knocking, people who said, oh, you'd be great in this position, and you just went and did it. Why? Why? Why would your life and career be a series of you reacting to what other people expected you to do, and you just went along with their agenda? And if you have a boss that's not that great, if you haven't moved forward in your career in the last 3 years, if your income hasn't increased in the last 3 years, if you're way overeducated and you're underemployed, underpaid, and feeling like you have to play small to get along with others, you are in the wrong place, the wrong space, and frankly, you're doing the wrong things. This is true, okay? You're not put on this earth to get a college education, a master's, a PhD. I have some women who have 2 masters, 3, and they're not making anything even to pay off their school loans. I mean, it's ridiculous, but they don't know how to do anything different. Oh, okay. Not your fault. Okay. It's not your fault, but it causes lots of problems. And it causes you and your soul to be shrunk down into this minuscule little version of you. You ready for the one thing? I want you to be ready. Tell me you're ready for the one thing. And I also want you to share this, because everyone who you care about is going to want to know this. And I want you to share it with them. And I'm warning you. It's going to conflict with how you were raised and how you were brought up and with your belief systems and all of that. All right, Melissa said she's ready. Sue, are you ready? Dawn, you might know this, Dawn, because you're in my workshop. You might know this. The number one thing that successful people do that you probably don't do is they put their wants first. I told you it was going to conflict with everything you think is right and proper to do. Successful people know what they want, and that is how they conduct their lives, based on what they want. Shock! The number one thing that successful people do that you don't do is that they put their wants ahead, and that is how they live their life. Now, I know what's going to happen. You're going to be like, well, no, I was taught to be generous and share with other people and get along with others, and that's just not possible. Wrong. When you are operating from what you want, you're actually helping other people be clear about what they want too. And you're actually living from your truth, and your soul can be a big, shiny, brilliant soul And you are then a wonderful, wonderful human being on this planet. Going for what you want and coming from that perspective does not make you evil. As a matter of fact, you are bending toward evil if you do not operate from your soul's desire and your divinity in what you want in life. You are bending toward evil because you are weakened by fear. And when you're weakened by fear, your life sucks. It does. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it sucks. If you are living by other people's dictates of who you need to be and what you're supposed to be, and you're not talking because you've been shut down, and you're not moving ahead in your career because you're thinking it's going to take away from your family, and you've got kids to raise, and why not just stay in this comfort zone, making less money, working for a boss who stifles you and puts you down, as long as I know the people and I can take my kids to their dental appointments and basketball practice, everything's okay. I'm going to tell you what, ladies, every single freaking company that's worth their salt, and every single job that's above what you've got more autonomy, and you can do things with your kids and plan your life and live your life. But you have been believing a bunch of BS because you've been living your life not by you and what you want, but by what other people want. And so your life is a series of being all over the place and not serving the number one person in your life, which is you. Okay? This is the reason why successful people are successful. Do you think Elon Musk, when he co-created PayPal, when he developed the best electric battery on the planet, when he created a car company, he was thinking, oh, what's GM going to think of me? I better not do this because the Ford family might be pissed off at me for developing cooler cars than they've ever thought of in their lifetime. You know, I better not shoot rockets into space. NASA's going to be really upset at me, even though their rockets suck and they cost 20 times more than what they ought to cost. That's not what successful people do. They aren't overly concerned about what other people are thinking of them. They are conducting themselves from their divinity in their genius zone, and therefore they're able to live a life that feels better for them, and their soul is lit up, and they're actually contributing to the world in a way that makes sense and it matters, and they're living their truth. You may like it or not like it, but that's how souls do it. That's how successful people have put their destiny forward. You think Ruth Bader Ginsburg was sitting around going, oh, I hope the Supreme Court doesn't mind if I argue for women's rights 7 times. I hope they don't mind. I hope that's okay that I'm 5'1" and a really bold person on the planet. Is that allowed? And when she was called to task about taking up a spot from a man in Harvard Law School, she didn't leave Harvard Law School. She sort of went like, flick, I'm here. This is what I want to do. This is who I am, and I'm going forward. Now, I don't expect you to be Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but you could have the same compass. You could have the same soul destiny compass and say, this is my life. This is what I want. This is what I deserve. Because that's what successful people do. I don't want this, I want that. I don't want this, I want that. And they go toward what they want. And yeah, there's going to be noise out there from time to time. And yeah, you're going to have to step into your courage and bravery. And you may have to learn some tools and techniques and some ways to execute on that because perhaps you don't know how to be strong in the world. I get that. I help hundreds of women every year do that. And our ladies feel better than they felt ever in just a short couple of weeks after decades of suffering. We finally get them on the path of their soul and their truth, and they know how to live differently. And yeah, after decades and decades of living according to someone else's rules and programming and conditioning, it may take a minute to get yourself aligned with what you want and who you are and to keep going in that direction. Because a lot of things that you have been taught and told in your life conflict with you being the most awesome version of you and going after what you want. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you got to grow. It means you got to increase your muscle on being you. And that's what your creator intended for you. Your creator plopped you on this planet and said, hey, go for it. I'm here for you. You got to believe in me. You got to have faith in me, but you got to have faith in yourself just as much. And when you don't have faith in yourself, you're telling your creator, I don't believe in you. I don't think anyone ever prayed to God and said, I don't believe in you, God. Like, screw you. I'd rather suffer. And if that is something that you've done, I get it, but you gotta cut that out. You got to start living from your GPS, your soul, divine self. It is not selfish. It is not bad. It is actually bad to do the opposite. Because think about it. If you're living in fear and according to everyone else, you're not ever going to be you. And you're not ever going to be free. And you're not ever going to truly be able to love anyone else because you're so busy with other agendas. Will they think I'm good enough? Will they love me? Will they get me what I want? And if you're living in drama and your connection to people is about drama, you are way off base. I'm going to call you out on something right now. I'm going to call you out on something right now. You ready? Look at your Facebook feed. What is it saying about you? Are you one of those people that's spewing all this BS and highlighting the negativity in the world? Are you sharing meaningless things? Are you living in your truth and being who you want to be? Are you showing up in places of work, family, friends, your social media feed that is authentically you? And if you say, Mo, I care about social causes and I care about this and I've got to share all this stuff. If you're sharing negativity, you are participating in the drama and negativity on the planet because we're all connected. It's not wrong to ask God to align you with his will and to place you where you need to be when it is with work. Put you where you need to be in this world. Natasha, God will always put you where you need to be in this world. You don't even need to ask. But what you need to do is to act in alignment with your higher version of you. Sometimes we are put in situations that are meant to challenge us, to help us step into our next version of us. And if we passively said, well, this was God's will, I'm just going to stay here, you're not getting it. Okay? You're not getting it. If that's what you're doing is passively letting the events of life look like it's God's will to have you suffer, that is not it. You are in situations right now today in order to grow. And if you don't take God's lessons, you're not going to get God's blessings. That's the way it works. You can't be sitting in a situation that is subpar, that is beneath you, that is below you, that is causing you harm, injury, and I mean even psychically and spiritually. If you are playing less than, that is not God's will for you. God wants you to step up to the plate and grow. That's why we are given challenges to grow. When I was given breast cancer at 47, I wasn't given it as a death sentence. I was given it to grow. So please don't misunderstand the whole idea of God putting you in situations and you having to just lay down and accept whatever happens. No, you are not here to live a passive existence. And God does not put you in harm's way just to like play around with you. Or are you one of the chosen people that's supposed to suffer on the planet? It doesn't work that way. And if you don't like what I'm saying, move on. But I want you to resonate with this. Your soul is meant for greatness. You are brought to this planet to do something awesome and unique that is you. And only you can do that. And that is how you live out God's plan, by being the awesome version of you. And therefore, you have to follow your Eunice. What you want and desire in this world is the number one thing because it's what God is pushing you toward. And when you follow your Eunice, what I want as a human being on this planet, when you follow that, you are living God's truth. You can't passively just say, well, whatever happens is God's will. It's not true. Whatever happens is God's lesson. Okay? If you don't advance from the 3rd grade, you never get to 4th grade. You got to keep growing. And so the situations, the events that happen in your life are meant to grow through, not to stay in. God's plan for you is not a prison of suffering. It is not. So please grow through your situation. Grow because of it. Grow because you know that that is what's put in front of you, because you need the growth. You need the growth. And if you're not where you want to be, it's because you're not a big enough version of you. Your external world is 100% a reflection of where you're at internally. So when you follow what you want and desire in the world to do and be, you are going to grow, because you are going to have lessons in front of you that go, okay, Mo, okay, Natasha, okay, Cindy, okay, Keisha, let's go. And you're going to have challenges, and you've got to grow. It's like when you are training for a marathon, and I know this because I've trained for marathons, you don't just run 5 miles and go, okay, that's all I want to do. I'm going to go run a marathon. You got to keep running longer. You got to keep running faster and challenging your body to grow. And spiritually and living your soul's destiny is the same exact thing. You have got to be operating from the desire of who you are in the world and what you want. And if you want coffee with cream, get coffee with cream. Okay? Move in the direction of your soul's desire, not in the direction of fear. Chances are you're moving in the direction of fear and other people's will, not God's. There is a difference. And if you want to know more about how to do this and how to be this in the world, this is exactly what I coach and teach in my 12-week transformational workshop. I teach our clients how to build their soul strength up so that they are living on their GPS, which is their divinity and their soul. And that is the strength that you will have success on. That is it. It's simple to understand. It's not so easy to execute. But we know how to help our ladies do it. This is what I'm putting down today. Your best truth, your best success comes from you operating from what you want. I know that goes against everything you were raised as. I get it. I get it. It took me a lot of years to figure this out. And I see women cracking through decades of misery, pain, and suffering. Decades of being shut down. One of our gals right now is in our workshop for 4 weeks, and she said she has never felt this free as a person ever in her life. And now she's entertaining job offers at the level she's always wanted but never thought she really could do. That's what we do. And Cindy, absolutely keep executing on things. If you're one of my clients, you have lifetime access to all the tools and techniques and all of the teaching and training that we helped coach you through in those 12 weeks forever. I don't teach a man. I don't give you let's see if I can go the biblical route here. My approach to coaching is not to feed you fish. It is to teach you how to fish. And you will have that skill for a lifetime. But sometimes you need to have step-by-step instructions to get you there. And once you get there, you know how to fish. So stick with it. If you're not one of my clients, come on. Let's talk about how we can help you. And you do that through a complimentary career clarity call at mofall.com/dailymo. And if you have not seen my free webinar, mofall.com/FB Live. That way we know you came from here. And ladies, I really appreciate all of your comments and all of your engagement. Please share this message with people you care about. It is the truth. It is It is going to change your life and others' lives just by hearing it today. If you're a client of mine, hopefully this woke another piece of you up. Hopefully this woke your soul up. Hopefully this woke an idea and an inspiration about how life can be lived. When I figured this out and got straight with this, my career went sailing, and I felt better about myself. And I was a better leader, a better manager. I was more engaged and happier at work. Before that, I just struggled my ass through my career. Yeah, I kept climbing and going into more, but it was a slog. All right, it was a slog. And when I figured this out, and it was after my breast cancer, when I figured out the soul's desire is the GPS to live life from, and that might feel and sound selfish, and it might sound and feel like a way that you were told not to be in the world. It's not true. This is the way. This is God's way. This is your Creator's way. This is how you play in the field of oneness, by being authentically you and going in that direction. Get this message and it'll change your life. This might be hard to execute. This might be hard for you to do in the real world. I get that. That's why I coach and train women through our 12-week transformational workshop. And the only way we can tell if we're the right fit to work with you and you to work with us is by helping talk with you about your career and your life and what's going on. We do that through a complimentary career clarity call, mofall.com/dailymo. We'll see you on the other side of greatness. We'll see you on the other side of your soul being alive and shiny and free. Live that way, and you will live into the pleasure of your Creator. See you next time. This is Coach Mo, mofall.com. Everything, bringing your soul to work, bringing your soul back, bringing your soul up, and career success, landing your dream job, and just totally owning it in the workplace. It's an important part of how you express your soul, the work you do. Let's do it to the highest level of your soul. See you next time.